everybody. This is Tim Shaw. And if you guys saw a double of the intro, it's because yours truly has fat fingers and I hit the button twice. Oops. My bad. But it happens. Anyway, welcome to the Black Cat Lounge tonight. And we got a great show. We got a fantastic show. And hey, Kenneth, how are you doing, brother? How you feeling, by the way? My guest tonight is going to be great. But first, I got to tell you what I got. The latest piece, Rhonda, how are you? The latest piece of paraphernalia that I got to put into my museum. Timmy, how are you? Hold on, let me reach back. I'm too short and too old to pick this up. Anyway, everybody is familiar that Patty Negri, the White Witch of Hollywood. Hey, Deb, how you doing? And myself did we did a Ouija board session within the world's largest Ouija board planchette. We did that last week or last August. Hey, Trace, how are you? And I thought to myself, you know what I would love to have? I'd love to have a piece of that because it's a Guinness Book of World Records. It's the largest Ouija board that they have. Amanda, how are you? And so I got a hold of the owner and I said, listen, would you happen to have a small little piece that I could maybe put into a shadow box? Bill Randall, welcome aboard, USS Edson. Kathy, how are you? And he goes, well, yeah, we've got chatting back and forth. I said, listen, I'll trade you a couple pieces of the Hinsdale house because he makes planchettes out of like little little planchettes out of haunted places, and he's made planchettes out of human pelvis bones and stuff like that, which is kind of great. Sue, how are you? So anyway, I get this package in the mail and I'm like, what the hell? And I open it up and this is what pops out, and it's Ouijazilla is undeniable. He went and he got this cardboard to wrap this piece up from a dumpster of an old spirit store that closed down. And this is what he got. I got a kick out of it. But anyway, let me open it up. I got to get my stickers out. The stickers are Size Matters, Ouijazilla. That's pretty cool. But this is, you can see it. Whoops, here, let me bring it this way. There we are. This is actually the plate where the center pillar of the planche was screwed into it. Underneath there was the wheels. And what a piece of memorabilia that he sent me. And actually, the pillar that bolted onto here was a pillar from a funeral home. So this is pretty cool. And I mean, it gets beat up. That they take it on the road and stuff. So this is the little piece. This is the tiny piece that he sent me from the Guinness Book of World Records Ouija board setup that he had. Isn't that cool, though? I don't know how I'm going to display this. It's so big. But I'm going to figure a way how to do it. And I think it's great. This is the stuff that comes to my house. People go, we don't get interesting things like that. We don't get crazy stuff in the mail. We get bills, we get, political ads. This is what I get. So come and hang out with me and watch the mailman. And if they ever found out what half of the stuff was that gets sent to my house, I don't know if the mailman would be that happy doing it. But we'll see. We'll all see. What else is up? Everything's been quiet. It's very good. Been working on a project, as some of you guys saw. I was out on a solo adventure the other day. I had to go to a location that, how can I describe it? It's described as a bad location, a very negative location. So I kind of went out there. I was hanging out in like a family cemetery and then walking the area and that sort of thing. So I can't disclose it yet because I don't really know what's going on there. But it was interesting. That's the best I can say. And I will say, I'll just let you guys know, dowsing was far more it was a more positive experience to douse the area than it was to use any of the meters and that sort of thing. It seemed like old school. It resonated more, I guess. So I mean, we'll see what happens, and this is something that's interesting. So I'll keep you guys posted if anything new comes up. But it's like one of those supposed, alleged, could be, maybe in the realm of urban legend, vortex type deals, you know. So I don't know. I don't know. I didn't feel anything like that. I mean, I didn't get sucked into the ground. I didn't have my underwear soiled. You know, I didn't have anything crazy like that happen to me. So we'll just see what happens with it. Because let me tell you, if that that's the telltale sign. If my underwear gets soiled, you know we're in trouble. I'm just going to tell you that right now. But that's I know. If I know what I was going to say. Thank you everybody that showed up at the Paranormal Oddities on Black Friday and got readings for all of us. Matter of fact, our guest was there. She was doing readings. We all did readings. It was a quick day. I thought it was going to be a long day, but I was there from like 11 till 8:30, something like that at night. And it was a very quick day, and it was a lot of fun. I get a chance to hang out with Joe and see some of all the normal crazies that come flying around, you know. But you know, that's all part of it. But anyway, if you're looking for something for that hard to buy person, Paranormal Oddities. He just won't. Well, maybe he will sell his shrunken head. I don't know yet. We'll have to figure that one out. I guess if the money was right, I would probably sell a shrunken. I got a shrunken head right around the corner there, but it doesn't talk to me or anything, so it's kind of boring. So that's why I leave him. I leave him be. Anyway, let's get to our guest tonight. Our guest is oh my god, I've known our guest for a while. It's kind of funny. I've known her for that. I mean, it's really wow, it's for years, literally years that I've known her, and we hit it off right. And her husband is a cigar guy. James is like my all-time hero now because James now is making his own cigars. He's got his own label coming out, and he's going to have a podcast and everything coming out about cigars, and it's going to be fantastic. But we're not here to talk about Jim. No, we're not. We're not here to talk about Jim. We're here to talk about Stacey Eichinger. I like saying that. That name is so great because, you know, because I always called Jim Ike, and I never understood why I didn't know his name was Eichinger. I was like, because I just thought it was a nickname. But his lovely wife, Stacey Eichinger, is a practicing witch. She's an instructor in the craft, and she's founder of Wild Raven Candles and Apothecary. And I got to tell you, I'm a candle geek. I love candles. I like candles. You know, I use candles. I use candles for spells. I use candles for ambiance. I use candles for when you need to have candles when in certain rooms of your house to rid the evil out of the atmosphere, just let's say. But her candles are so great. And again, you can buy them. She's at a lot of shows, and oh my God, she's all over the place. Her candles in Western New York have a place on shelving in almost every, I would say almost every holistic shop around here. I think it's fantastic. Well, anyway, let's bring Stacey on. Why? Because we all love her. Stacey, welcome to the Black Cat Lounge, kiddo. It's so great. It's so great to finally have you on the show. I mean, it really is so cool. This is fun, you know, because we don't get a chance to go and, you know, usually when we run into each other, there's a problem that we have to discuss, you know, not between us, but there's from somebody outside, you know, a client or whatever, or B, we're working like Black Friday, and when you had time off, I was working with a client. When I had time off, you had a client. It was just like, you know, we're sort of like in that high and buy type deal. But now, you know, I've got you like on the hot seat because why? It's all about Stacey tonight. All about Stacey. It's not about anything else. I could talk about me for an hour, but you know what? Stacey's like at least prettier than me. So Stacey, let's go. You know what, Stacey? Let's just go right to I want to ask you about the backstory. I love backstories. I love how people get involved in this. So, you know, basically, You're a nice person. How the hell did you get involved with all of us crazy people? That is what we have to ask right up front. And oh, darling Jim says, insert applause here, and I think so. Jim, that's next. That's next. When I had the old show, the old audio show, I had I had canned applause, but this is all part of it. But how did you get involved with this?
So I knew I'd been different my whole life. I was the one out making mud potions when I was little. When I was probably almost 20 years ago, I met a friend, and she kind of introduced me to a set of books that I then realized, oh shit, I can actually apply this to my real life. So that's kind of like the beginning. I just fell in love with the craft even more, and I found my way home. It was just that simple. I knew that this was a part of me my whole life. So having an outlet was incredible.
Well, it's funny. I ask everybody that question. How do you get involved? I mean, 90% of everybody I ask that question to has been involved naturally
Yeah.
through their whole lives, one way or another. 10%, they were, they're dejected, whatever. I was going to say Christians, but I don't want to pick on my Christian brothers and sisters there, because they all have a place. Everything has a place. But they get dejected, they're upset about something, and then they start looking. Who do you think is one of your biggest influences in this? Because now that's an important question, because you guys know I knew Ray Buckland, but and I can still say yet he's not my biggest influence. Somebody like Sharon Klingler, who is a spiritualist, she was like my greatest influence. But Ray was right up there, and my little sister Marla Brooks was a huge influence on me. And so many people that I've come across over the years, and even up to a certain point, Aleister Crowley and his insanity.
It's
But
insanity.
yeah, well, I'm just finishing another great book on him. So anyway, who is your
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, Raymond Buckland was a huge influence, obviously. I dabbled with Silver Ravenwolf for a little while, and I really kind of jumped around from author to author, kind of taking a little bit here and a little bit there. And hi, Ada. And I think my biggest influence was really just listening to my own intuition and following the nature base that I follow. Weirdly, kind of just watching everybody and taking a little bit from here and there.
so I mean, and yourself, the next question that'll be is naturally with me will naturally come up. So basically, I know so many people who follow hardcore traditions, Strega and all that,
Yep.
and I myself consider myself outside of a spiritualist because I'm a card carrier, you know, but it's more, I almost made you spit on that one because we all know,
We tried that too.
yeah, but I'm more of a chaos magician, which
Mhm.
means I incorporate so much
Yeah.
of everybody's influences and all that. Uh, Eclectic when it comes into the realm of witchcraft, would you consider yourself eclectic, or even, I'll be honest with you, I even with you, I was going to ask you this, you're almost like a kitchen witch, you
Um,
know
yeah, kitchen witch or nature witch. I'll go outside and pick stuff out of the garden and play around
yeah,
with it more than
yeah.
anything.
So I mean, to me, that's even more, I think that's even more important, because I think that it has more of a reverence
It
to
does.
the traditional old ways. I
It
mean, let's
does.
let's
It's
let's
just
face it.
where I am. I'm more traditional old way. I can't handle all of the rules in the new world
Yes,
of witchcraft. To me, it's like might as well go to church. No offense to churchgoers, but I don't like to be confined to I'm only allowed to do things this way. It's the
right.
Tory. Sorry.
No, but it's so true about that, because what I don't know if you ever heard uh there of Hannah, is the freed slave that moved to
Yeah.
Tonawanda, and she worked witchcraft. That's what they would call it. She was an herbalist,
Right.
and that's what she did. She grew out all her own herbs. She worked with everything that she had around, and I often see you doing that. Yes, eclectic. I would say that we're both sort of eclectic, but
Yeah.
with you, I mean, you really have your boots to the ground. And I don't know whose idea it was to go and make all those raised garden beds that you have in your yard. I'm going to say it's yours. I don't want to
Well,
blame Jim because Jim's the one that actually had to build a lot of it.
Jim had a say in that as well, but we have since leveled all of those raised beds and basically just tilled in the whole side yard. It was 40 by 40 in the beginning of the year, and then it extended like 30 feet the other way and 20 feet the other way. So it's basically the whole backyard. It's
So
huge.
I was going to say, in other words, it's a small hobby farm.
Um, it's a witch's farm. Oh, so yeah, hobby farm, sure, yeah,
What do you
sure.
now? Okay, because again, I know you're a hardcore canner. I mean, you can so much. What is it that do you grow anything on your property specifically for the craft, or are you a lot like me who goes and I we grow things that are more universal?
A little bit of both.
That
So
a girl.
technically, everything that grows is of the craft. But I do have certain things that I have chosen for the craft that grows and is also companion to all the vegetables. So it's kind of like a old world mixture of a little bit of everything.
That's
Except the
good.
new garden coming up is going to be secluded because that will be the naughty garden full of non-edibles, poisonous.
I was just gonna say, is that it's like the black garden in England when you go over
Yes.
there. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
those. Do not touch, do not
Yeah.
ingest, do not do anything. Yeah,
Big
uh,
fence.
yeah, but sometimes you have to. I mean, sometimes for the different spell work,
Yeah. You got to
there are
have.
certain yeah, there's certain things that you just can't get locally, where you have to import the seeds and you have to grow them yourself. Because I do know a couple people that have some beds of certain I don't even want to say
Yeah,
what they are because I don't want people going over there because they don't harvest now. It's funny because they don't harvest them until the end of December,
really.
and they say because the snow makes them stronger.
Yeah.
So I don't, that's kind of interesting when you start looking at that. But now I know the again, see, the idea of being a good host is knowing the answer to all your questions.
Oh boy.
So, so I got to ask you, and Ray was always funny about this. I think he coined the phrase: "Are you a fluffy bunny, always looking to the good,
Yep.
or are?" Yeah, that's why I knew that was coming up. Now, here's my thing. Here's my thing. Like when I studied Strega, basically there is no gray area. It's either yes or no, white or dark. And whenever you're working with different spells and that, you just hardcore them. You just hardcore them. You got to make that decision yourself. And you know, you can't go and you can't play around with this stuff. I hate this. I hate the rule of threes.
Mm,
I don't believe in that at all.
no.
Uh, I don't. I believe more in uh, the whole idea that what we're doing is a reflection of ourselves. I don't believe in hardcore karma coming back at me for doing something. But
But
that's what bothers me. Your opinion.
so
You got a son of a bitch out there who has done something terrible. You turn around, you cast hardcore. You cast, everybody mocks me out for having that poppet with the penis in it. But when it comes to getting nasty and you snap that little wiener and you snap it off when you're doing a spell. I mean, I'm just gonna come right and say, if that guy really deserved it, he deserved it, and nothing's gonna come back at
no,
you.
I
Or
agree with
Jimmy, you hear that, Jimbo?
he already knows those rules. I am very, very big on defensive magic, so I'm
the
not gonna
best the best defense is an offense, and that's the way I've always thought about it when we come to magic.
yeah, so I'm not gonna like purposely go cast on someone just because, but I will protect myself first, and if you get hurt in the meantime, then you shouldn't have been messing with me. That's how I look at it.
But see, that's the way I'm so tired of these people. Here's another question I want to ask you. 'Cause I don't, guys, I don't have any questions for Stacey because I just want this is like a conversation for the two of us. You guys are just like kind of listening in. Stacey, you turn around and you get this is what I get. Tim, help. Well, what's going on? What's going on? Well, I thought I could handle this situation. It's a bad situation, and I'm afraid to do it. My response is, why did you get involved in the first place? But that's my response. I'm sure that you're a lot more gentler than I am.
Here's a bucket. I love mentoring people. And yes, Andrea, fluffy bunny. I love to be a mentor, but I'm not going to do the work for you. I will guide you to the answers. I will encourage you to find them on your own. But I'm not going to do your work for you because you have to fall to learn.
The other thing is if you do the work, it's 10 times stronger than me sitting there and sending it for you. I mean, I'm a proponent of direct contact. I'm a proponent of I will teach you how to do this. And it's up to you. Here's the landmine here with the wick coming out, and here's a match. Now, there you go. It's up to you whether you want to do this or not. And it's usually it's something that's very negative, that something happened to them. It's more of a revenge spell. It's more something of that nature. I mean, and lately I have gotten so many of those that have like, can you do this work for me? And it's like, no, you've got to do the work for yourself. Why are you going to come to me?
Exactly. I don't have any anger in this situation on a revenge spell, so that's not going to be any help. You have all the anger, use it.
Exactly. Because I believe that a lot of times the anger is what does it. And I mean, if you have a person that's very timid or really is downtrodden, I don't think twice about helping out. But if I have somebody that I really feel that is ready to rock and roll, I don't think twice about just saying, hey, let's go and let's get this stuff going. It's up to you. Yeah, it's up to you to take that. It's up to you to go and grab it by the balls and squeeze, that's what I shouldn't have said that. Sorry. But anyway, if there's a rubber ball in my hand, I would grab it and squeeze. That's what it would be.
There you go. Crystal. Squeeze the crystal, right?
Piece of crystal. I just broke that crystal.
It's you have to do the work for you. Otherwise, all you're doing is copying the answers off the test, and you're not learning a damn thing.
I agree. Now, see, that I'm gonna have to steal that analogy from you because that's really good. I really, and I talked to like different instructors in different traditions, and most of them have said the same thing. It's really what you need to go and you need to do, because otherwise, it's not as. I mean, if you have that, if you can harness in a revenge, let's just say revenge spell, if you can harness that hatred, that bile that comes up, that negative, and I won't say negative because some things negative and positive is all is a conceptual thing. Yeah. If you can harness that energy and send it out there,
that's the spell right there.
Exactly. Although I have been known to dance around fires naked with dead chickens, I think Jim has a couple shots of me doing that he took with his trail cam that I didn't know about. But that's just every so often Jim will put one of them up on Facebook. Just
Yes.
Yeah. But no. But I mean, it's that inner like anger that brings it up.
It's that inner emotion, no matter what it is, whether it's revenge or joy or whatever. It's that inner emotion that comes from deep within.
Exactly.
That is what catapults the spell work.
And like, okay, Christy. Nobody wants, believe me, Christy, nobody wants to see that photo. And if you did, you'd find that I had more tattoos than you know about. But I think a lot of times people are afraid of it. People are afraid to do these things, and it's a lot of it is because of the way that we were brought up, and a lot of it is because it's way in the back of our mind. Negativity will breed this negativity, and we're going to get punished for it, somewhere down the line. But when you strip a lot of that away,
Yeah.
you actually have the makings of an unbelievable gift where you can use this for good and bad. And while I don't recommend doing it for bad, if you strip away that gray area, I mean, you can open up a can of whoop ass in some of these people really hardcore.
And I think what I see a lot of now, the hard part is people will read a blog post or go to a book and then go, okay, I got this, and then do it and then screw it up or
Oh, yeah,
do it
well,
wrong, not necessarily in a bad way, but like not in the correct areas. And then they come to us and say, oops.
fix it.
Like,
Have a
well,
good show. Have a good show, Christy. Christy's got a show tonight right after ours. So have a
excellent.
good one. Set it up, kiddo. But yeah, I mean, this is what kills me, because what happens is if you're using somebody else's spell and you don't do it exactly,
Right.
you might have a little problem there,
The outcome might be
But
different.
if you create your own spell based on the work of others,
Yeah. I mean, you can
you'll
get
never have, it'll always be successful.
like, I love this book because I get ideas from it. I can't, these cameras. This book,
I just thought you liked that book so you could hit Jim with it. That's what
well,
I thought.
no, usually it holds up my computer, but inspiration, and then I'll make it my own.
I see. That's the way I feel. I really feel that that's what's important, and that's why also, I mean, with a Book of Shadows or whatever, when you create something of your own, it works, and you want to go and record what you did. I will say almost anything that I cast has always worked. Sometimes it's worked too well because that guy died, but that's another. That's another. That's a whole story
Oh,
there. Well, I
that
don't
was
think I was the only one that cast on him. I'll be honest with you, but it I people don't get the fact that you don't have to be a follower. I'm being solitary, being eclectic, being a chaos magician. It kind of takes you out of that whole realm of being a follower. Now don't get me wrong, I like community, I like being able to hang with people,
yeah,
like you. I mean, and we don't follow the exact same
no,
the exact same traditions, but we get a chance to go and we get a chance to talk and mingle.
yep,
And it's not like, I don't know if you've ever been to a really hardcore high magic
yeah,
ritual where everything has got to be done
yep. I
just
have
right.
that, and I appreciate them a great deal.
Yeah, but up to a point,
Right.
it gets to that point where people get down on themselves for screwing part of it up. And
It's really,
I think to myself, well, why are you getting upset about that? Because if you screwed up, it was meant to be. And that just becomes more personalized. It's not like you dropped an F-bomb in church like I've done during a talk. I mean, that's that's a little iffy, but then you just go like this and go, wasn't me. I was doing
yeah,
trance work. It was
trans.
them. But
You're changing it, yeah.
people do that. And I mean, high magic is there's places for it. And I think it's great when we all get together and we can do ritual. But I
I
think I think what happens is I think we start losing the gift of it.
Exactly, and one of the reasons why I stopped doing the high magic and, all the coven stuff was I like to laugh and I screw up.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm not the same
And
way.
when I
Remind me
screw
never
up, I'd rather laugh at myself than get down on myself, so I'm like, "Oh, crap," sorry,
But if you're
and
doing part of the ritual, that's part of a spell work. That's all part of everything. And if you get down on yourself on it, now everything, it's like a Jenga. Somebody pulled out that little bottom piece of wood, and everything just collapses on itself.
Mhm.
That's why I don't like doing that. That's why I feel more comfortable working drumming circles
Mhm.
for different purposes or whatever, because let's face it,
They're
I,
fun.
I I got no rhythm. whatsoever. But it's the idea that it's the intent that you put into it.
Yeah. And that's the same thing with magic. I may
Exactly.
not do the same spell the same twice, but it's the intent is there. And as long
Exactly.
as you're doing it with a pure intention, you're good.
Exactly. Hey, we're going to take a real quick break because if I don't, Wild Raven candles will never get out there. And because Wild Raven candles, the greatest candles probably in the entire East, will not give me any more free candles. No, we'll talk about that after this.
The Black Cat Lounge is sponsored by Paranormal Oddities, The Little Store with the Big Heart, Buffalo Phantom Hunters, Patronus Photographic for all of your photography and design needs, Nancy's Sewing Room, masks, aprons, purses, and more, and Wild Raven candles for those magical times.
And welcome back to the Black Cat Lounge. I'm Tim Shaw. Our guest tonight, Stacey Eichinger of Wild Raven Candles. And as everybody knows, there are those candles for those magical times. Hey, welcome back, Stacey, because this is one of those magical times. Let's talk about your candles, kiddo. I remember when I first met you and you just started working them and you were just kind of getting out there. And I thought, wow. And competition was tough. Remember, there was a lot of different candle makers. And there's still a lot of candle makers out there. But you really seem to have etched your niche in the whole industry. And why do you think that is? What makes your candles so much better than everybody else's? And I'm telling you, that's the way I'm going to say it. So much better than anybody else's because of the fact that it's, look, we all use your candles.
I hope so.
Although I can go to the dollar store and get a lot of, dollar candles you light up and then all of a sudden something may burn in them and crack everything. And, that doesn't, and black smoke up, all over the place. But your candles, why do you think that they're so popular?
So what I've been told that they're so popular is because of the amount of energy I put into them. I use my candles for my spell work, so I make them as powerful for everyone else to support theirs as well. I put a lot of support work into my candles, so they're not going to do the work for you. You still have to do the work, but they're going to help support you through it by boosting energy or increasing the energy of the herbs in there, or getting rid of shit that you couldn't get rid of with the sage stick, depending on which one you're using. I also like to do a lot of honorary candles, so I have a lot of goddess candles that I work with them personally. They come to me and tell me how they want their candle made, what they want in it, what color they want, and then I charge the oils now, because if I charge each candle, I'd never get out of the basement. But I charge the oils now, so each candle is charged with, thank you, Lakey. Each candle is charged with whatever intention is supposed to do.
Now, when you say charged, I understand what you mean, but tell everybody what you mean by that. A lot of people, it's something that, when we start working within the craft, a lot of people don't really understand some of the terminology.
Right. So my husband just said it, all infused with intention that they're designed for. Yes, they're all hand poured by me. He'll fess up to that because sometimes I'm there forever. So the energy that I have in my heart to make that candle do what it's supposed to do, that energy goes into each candle. Kind of like.
Now, here's another question that I have for you. Oh, Debbie wants to know, do you ship candles?
Yes, I do, Debbie.
And if you look at the ticker tape right below, www.wildraven.com, you can go right to our website and it has all the information there. Now, I'll be honest with you, working in a more hoodoo Santeria vein, I anoint every candle. I anoint every candle separately, and I have separate oils that I use for different things, which my buddy Frank can't believe what some of these oils are up to. But when you infuse your candles,
Mhm.
do you have to go and would you have to re-anoint? Because I know, like like a lot of them, you have to re-anoint the candle for a specific purpose,
Right.
or can you just use it right off the bat?
You can use
What about healing candles? Would you
that.
recommend that you go and you inscribe the person's initials in the top of the
Um,
candle?
if you want to do that, that's an extra layer. So, like my
Hmm.
healing candles are meant to support the healing process. So, you can't just light it and be healed. You have to
Right.
light it, and then you have to either be praying or taking steps to become healed, whether it's changing your diet, taking your medicine. Still have to follow your doctor's orders because,
Hmm.
don't be dumb. But it will, if you do more to it by inscribing your name in it or adding oils or holy water, it will add another layer. So, and same thing with
And
candles.
and what you mean by layer is it becomes a little bit more powerful. The more things that you work with through intent, you layer it one on top of another, and it becomes more activated, more stronger in the long
Absolutely.
run.
Absolutely.
And my buddy Bill wants to know what's the process to anoint a candle. Do you want to take that one? Because
I
you're my hero.
um Anointing a jar candle is a little different than anointing a stick candle. So
Right.
jar candles, you would usually it's just the top layer of wax. So here you go. Here's a candle. You would anoint this with a specific oil, depending on what your process is. You're either saying a prayer, a psalm, a spell, your intention. So you, as the user of the candle, are going to put all your intentions in the oil on the top of that candle. That's anointing the candle. For a stick candle, which I don't have, um, you would take and you would anoint the stick candle with the same oils.
And a lot of times, if it's specifically for somebody, I would etch.
Yeah.
I
Oh
would
yeah.
actually etch the. Now,
Beans or
now
pickles or something.
you have all these wonderful, lovely candles like this, like this. You got these wonderful, lovely candles. Do you have any like shut the F up candles? Do you have any? I've had enough of your crap candles. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring a good lawyer to me because I'm gonna take your cheating ass right to court and take everything. Do you have any of those candles?
Not on the shelf per se, but those would be what you would consider private discussion.
And Miss Aida, who is a phenomenal uh, hoodoo worker and someone I look up to. I couldn't make a candle if you put a gun to my head. Aida, you're not the only one. Listen. I'm lucky that I can like even put oil on a candle because I can't do anything. It's just funny, but really, uh, because that's something I know that I've noticed that when I go and I find your candles at the different stores, they're all the lovey-dovey stuff. And I know, got news for you people. I know Stacey. Stacey just ain't one of those all lovey-dovey people. There's a lot of people out there in the world that I wouldn't want to get pissed off at me. Stacey might be one of them, in the hierarchy of things. Miss Aida is right up on top up there. I'll just tell you that right now. But Stacey's right over there. And I'm sort of like, I would be afraid. So if they were looking for something like that, something a little bit negative,
Yeah.
could they just contact you for a special order?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of the things coming up new to Wild Raven is going to be more of a special order type of candle scenario per se.
Bill Randall, she's not a fluffy bunny. Oh, Bill, no. Someday I'll bring her. To Bay City, Michigan, for the USS Edson, and to explore it, and you'll find out that she's not a fluffy bunny.
I'm sweet, but just don't mess with me.
And you're and her husband Jim goes, no way. So if Jim says no, we know for a fact.
He knows.
Now you teach classes. What do you tell us all about? First of all, because there's two things we want to talk about.
Okay.
We want to talk about the spiritual roundtable, and I want to talk about the classes that you teach. And you have had. I got to tell you what, I think congratulations, because I've been working with Joe since the little box store he had,
Yes.
and now he's got that big view, the view or venue, and he's got that. It's so big. Every time you have a class, you sell right out. I'm
Mhm.
starting to get a little jealous there. I
Hey,
am.
you
Hey, it's what now? What classes do you teach, and what are some of the subject matters that you conquer? Here, this is why I'm laughing, because Andrea writes, Stacey's a tough cookie.
know guys in the neighborhood. I have no choice.
Yeah. But what kind of class? What's the class all about, and what are some of the topics that you teach?
So one of our current rolling classes that we have is called a Witch's Night Out, and I do it with a partner, and I forgot to ask her permission if I could say her name, so we're just going to call her my other conjure queen.
Does
So
her first name start with a J?
it does.
Oh, okay. Then we're not going to go, and we can't say how Jessica. I mean, how wonderful she is too. But go ahead.
Yes. So the Witch's Night Out, basically, we're going to do probably like 8 times a year. We're going to try to pair them up with the Sabbats, and that's really just answering any questions for people that are not educated in witchcraft and want to know more, because either they're interested or someone they care about is interested and they want to understand it. And then we usually do some sort of spell work at the end, like a spell jar. For the Yuletide one, we did like a little witch's ball ornament thing. We filled it with intentions. That one is super fun because we always have a blast. We are going to start a witch 101. It's not going to be Wicca, because as much as I could teach Wicca, I don't practice it. I'm just a basic old school witch. So we're going to teach witchcraft 101. I think we're starting in January for that. So keep an eye on Joe's Paranormal Oddities page for that. I teach a tarot basics, and that's January 22nd is the next class, and it's going to be an all-day class, so it's like 11 to 4, I think. So all 3 classes in one day. And that just teaches you the basics of understanding how to read tarot cards. I don't get into all the fancy stuff, and I just give you the basics of how to understand the deck, and then you'll do a reading by the end of the class. What else? Spiritual Roundtable is the next one coming up on the 14th.
Yes. I want to talk about that because we were talking a little bit off the air about that and the importance of a class of that nature. So what is that going to encompass? So
this kind of grew out of my daughter. She's so cute. She's the one that painted the mural at Joe's. The Spiritual Roundtable came out of almost like a necessity. I've had so many people come up to me in the last probably 6 months, from shows to being at Joe's to all over the place, reaching out to me, and we're all awakening. I shouldn't say we all, but a lot of people are awakening. Since 2020, witchcraft has skyrocketed. People are awakening, the age of Aquarius. There's so many different reasons why people are starting to open up and challenge what we know as society. And they're all kind of stuck or confused or lost or don't know what to do. And I'm like, I got to gather all these people in one room, because 50 different messages coming from 50 different areas is just too much. So I decided to hold this Spiritual Roundtable, where I've asked a few of my close friends that are more advanced than a beginner, and in different areas of their spirituality. So we can sit around with people and really just kind of help them and guide them and explain to them what's going on, when they're awakening, what happens, why are people leaving their life, and why are there, so many different changes, and really just kind of walk them through what's going on, what the changes are, what to expect, how to deal with it, and so on and so forth.
Well, I think it's really important because there's so much, and Jim just brought up there, it's so misunderstood. There's so many different, first of all, there's all different traditions. Then there's the misunderstanding, the things that people are getting confused about, that actually come right from either their upbringing or what they've seen on TV, or oh my God, and I think the biggest problem that we have in the realm of any kind of conjure is that too many people expect something that is way over the top. Now, if you start looking at like the old Anton LaVey Church of Satan, he would, I mean, his rituals were like insanely like drama driven. Aleister Crowley, totally drama driven.
Yeah.
Even Ray Buckland, I mean, up to a point, it was very, very dramatic. Had so much so much acting involved with it. You know, you had lines you had to know and everything. And I think people watched this stuff from afar and thought, "Whoa, this is just like a little bit too crazy." And what they don't realize that witchcraft is common folk ways of people from all over the world. I mean, and I even know that when I wrote about Chautauqua of the Seneca, who was actually murdered, executed, depending who
right.
tells the story, because she was a witch.
Yeah.
And they condemned her as a witch. And that's Native American lore. And people are like, oh no, they just had medicine. And no, there was a hardcore tradition of witchcraft that even stretched into the Marcotte murders of the early I believe 30s or 40s. I mean, there's so much involved with it. But most of them are it's just life ways. That's all they are. They're just like habits that people have done. And it's passed on from generation to generation. And I think that's why people need to go and like get a fresh set of eyes on stuff in order to understand it.
Yeah. Like Ada said, we are called demonic. I've been called demonic. I've been called all sorts of names, and whatever. Call me whatever you want.
Just don't call us when Frank makes dinner. That's all I got to say.
I don't know. Jim made sauce tonight. Let me tell you, I'm ready for leftovers.
Jim's my hero.
It's amazing. But yeah, I've had one person asked me why I label myself, because labels are really huge right now. Why do you label yourself? And I'm like, you know what? I label myself as a witch because, well, one, I am, but two, I'm trying to rework the word. Okay. I am
agree.
Every day looking, dressing, I wear leggings, I'm not running around dressed up like, I don't know, like
Lori Cabot.
She's pretty awesome.
But Lori Cabot, just for people who don't know, Lori Cabot is the official witch of Salem. And years ago, and if anybody has ever seen Godsmack's the video for Voodoo, Lori's the one that's doing the ritual in front. And a lot of people only wear ritual robes during rituals. Lori embraced it, and she wears for probably decades now. She wears robes everywhere she goes in Salem,
right? I mean, you don't have to worry about it fitting wrong. It's genius, actually.
It is. Hey, listen, and if it's dark, it's slimming,
right?
That's why we wear black.
It's just good. But yeah, I'm trying to rework the word. I'm trying to rework it to what it was before the burning times, before the the Romans kind of took it and ran with it and made it evil.
Well, even if you start looking at the different eras within the Roman times, in the times before I can't think of it, out in Constantinople, the Emperor Constantine, when he went and he solidified the Bible and threw out all those chapters, that are called now the Gnostic Bible. When you start talking about stuff like that, you see when it predates that, you see that the Romans had a heavy occult presence. And then after that, it became oppressively Christian.
Yeah.
And that's what we start seeing, and leading into the barbarians and the sacking of Rome and the destruction of the Holy Roman Empire. And we go into the dark times of fear, and of course going into the burning times. So a lot of it needs to be explained, and which I think that's a fantastic thing that you're doing, is actually going and explaining to people who don't understand it, who have a fear of it. And I used to work with a Pentecostal that had the council. Thank you, Kenneth. The Council of Nicaea. I couldn't think of the name, but yeah, the Council of Nicaea. A lot of, I worked with a Pentecostal that, like, he didn't know the difference between witchcraft and Satanism.
Mm-hmm.
And actually witchcraft, Satanism, and devil work, devil worship. So and I had to sit down and I talked to him, and he goes, "Well, that's not the way my pastor explains it." So I said, "Here's my number. Have your pastor call me. We'll talk about this." But what's happening is it's all lumped into one thing, and people are missing it. They're totally missing the point. And I think if more people understood that it's a lot more benign and a lot more friendlier than what they think, because let's face it, how many times have people in the Roman Christian religion gone to a saint and said, "I wish this guy would get punished for what he did"? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of them that do that. Mm-hmm. How many times when somebody cuts you off in traffic do you go, "I hope you wrap yourself around a pole"? What do you think that is? It's a curse. It's a curse.
Well, I've never said that, but sometimes I hope that they get stuck in traffic a little longer than they should. But yes.
Not that I wish people would go and wrap around trees.
No, I've never to that extent. But people that are rude in traffic, sometimes they get wished that they either step on a tack or they, get stuck, or get cut into, someone cuts in line in front of them.
Exactly. But people don't realize that. People need that assurance and that explanation. And see, we're lucky where we are, because here in Western New York, we enjoy a bigger freedom to express ourselves than in other places. I have a friend that lives down in Virginia we're talking Bible Belt, good and evil.
Oh yeah.
And they've got to watch what they do. They have to really watch how they practice and what they do down there, where we have more of a luxury. We really do. For every shop that's out there that gets picketed, or people going and leaving notes on doors, like they've done that. They've done that to Paranormal Oddities once in a while, but the big time is the Buckland Museum of Witchcraft and Magic. Man, he's always getting stuff.
Oh yeah.
Taped to his door, and people driving by yelling, witch and all this. So, we're lucky where we are. We're very, very fortunate. And it's a little bit more accepted. And I hope that people come to your classes to actually do it.
I hope they do too. Yeah. Yeah, I do that one too.
Okay, Andrea, be good. I don't want you to be wiggling your nose at me. None of that bewitched stuff. Now, I got to ask you now, what's your upcoming schedule like? Now, I know that we're coming into the Christmas season. Things are starting to kind of slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
What are you guys up to?
Well, I've kind of taken the rest of December off when it comes to shows, and I don't think. Oh, no, I'm doing tarot readings. Well, I got tarot readings tomorrow at Nickel City Spa.
Good.
But also on the 29th of December, I'm doing readings at Paranormal Oddities. I don't know if we've picked out times yet, but Joe will be putting a banner up for that soon. Aside from that, not much in December, but January it's just jam-packed. So the first weekend, not the first, but like the 7th, 8th, and 9th, we got a big show in the Finger Lakes at the gaming racetrack.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 14th, 15th, and 16th, we're in Batavia. And then the 22nd, tarot class at Paranormal Oddities. And then the 29th, we are back in Waterloo. And the 12th, I've got tarot readings at Nickel City Spa. And there's going to be classes in between all that. I just haven't figured all that out yet. And somewhere I have to pour candles. So
ask me what I'm doing.
You're going to come over and help, right?
That's what I have to do. I got no choice. If I don't help, I'm going to be in trouble.
You're going to get one of those candles. Is what you're going to get.
I'm just afraid where you're going to stick the candle, but that's a whole nother story. We won't go into that. Hey, Stace, that was fun. It's so nice to have somebody on the show that I know well, and we have, we have a good rapport.
Oh, yeah.
And I just like, and seriously, when was the last time that we actually got a chance to hang out and talk?
Like now, I don't know.
I know.
Buy or we're at Joe's and then there's 50 other people and we need to do this more.
I know.
We'll have one of Jim's cigars.
Well, what we need to do is we need to go to Jim's cigar lounge.
Yep.
And we need to go and just like get a couple of us together and just talk. We need to talk shop. That's what I think we should do. You know what? We should have, and I'm going to throw this. We'll take care. Bye-bye, Aida. And what we should do is just go and have some, just maybe an invitation only little thing where we'll go and we'll bring people in and let's just, just to talk. Those of us that that are instructors. Because when was the last time that you found a class that you could go to?
Well, I am going to Susie Woo's class this weekend, the 11th. She's doing a workshop on guides and angels and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So good for the spirits out in Ellicottville. Yeah, my candles are there too. But
they're all over.
Yeah, they're working on it. So I'm looking for 2 more wholesalers. So yeah, really haven't done a whole lot for myself.
See, that's my biggest problem. And, and I mean, I've been kicking around a little bit, a couple months longer than you. And my biggest problem is I'm not able to go and find other people that I can go and I can share the information with and learn from them and learn the different traditions. Mm-hmm. So maybe you and I should spearhead a little something and think about just having a little informal class with maybe 5 or 6 of us and pizza.
I like it.
We got it. Okay. Like it. All right. And now the important thing, tell everybody again your website and how they can find more about
absolutely
the fabulous Stacey Eichinger.
Instagram, wild_raven. My website's wildraven.com. It's both spelled wrong, so sorry about that, but it makes it unique. Or Facebook. I'm out there. I'm on the social medias. I do it all. You can even Google me because it'll bring up one or the other. Thanks, Twin.
Oh, you got everybody's loving this. Everybody's loving it.
I'm there. Let's do it.
You got it. We'll think of it. We'll figure it out. Hold on, Stacey. Stay on the line till I say goodbye to everybody. And just be good. Thank you for being on. And may I say that tell your husband that his hair. I'm remote viewing his hair, and his hair is marvelous. So I'll be right back with you. Just give me a couple seconds. And that's Stacey Eichinger. Wasn't she great? She's a good friend of mine, and I can't say enough good things about her. She's a great teacher, superb reader. I'll just come around and tell you, superb reader. And we always have a good time when we have the few seconds we get a chance to actually see each other and talk to each other. So again, anybody out there that really wants to sit down and learn something in the Western New York area, learn about the craft, learn about not so much dogma and traditions, but learn about what it is that it takes to be part of it. Check her out. I think you'll be happy. As you know, one of these days I'll have to sit down and maybe take a class. I don't know. I don't know everything. Stacey does. Well, that's another story. But anyway, hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I'm Tim Shaw, and you've been listening to What Else? The Black Cat Lounge. Here, near, where? Well, what else? It's where the dumpsters and the elite meet, hanging out together. Ciao, babies. Be good. We'll see you soon, guys. Take care.